Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
Okay, well, if it feels like I'm just recently right back here at at Hurricanes Jointon Creek, well, it's because I was here on Saturday. Huge party at Hurricane. I came by to say hi and had a big time. I hope you made it by if you're a Mandarinite. If not, make sure you get by Hurricane Jointon Creek at some point in the near future. They really, really have a good thing going here. Tremendous food, tremendous atmosphere. They just know what they're doing when it comes to a family restaurant, a sports bar. They do a great combination. You will not be disappointed if you get over to Hurricane Jointon Creek for any of your big sporting events. Maybe you just want to get the group out after a ball game, a Little League game, a basketball, football, whatever it is. You can't go wrong at Hurricane Jointon Creek, the Tuesday location of the Young and Norvelle Show. Terry Norvelle here. We hope to have Patrick Young on in a little bit. We'll check on his schedule and see how Patrick is coming along. Not sure if he's got a speaking engagement. We do have guests, though. We've got a couple guests we'll get to as the show rolls out here. I think you're going to enjoy it. We will talk to around 4:20 Olivia Tasley. You know Olivia from Action Sports Jax. She's part of the sports team with Action Sports Jax. I think she was on hand today, obviously, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the mandatory Jaguars mini camp. We'll talk to Olivia a little bit later here in the first hour about Jaguar camp. What does she expect to see, hope to see? I'll chime in with my thoughts as well. Olivia Tasley, hopefully around 4:20, talking some Jaguar news and notes around minicamp, mandatory minicamp. So this morning, everybody that's not on the injured list and or some type of an excused list should have been running around on the field. Tomorrow is the fan day. If you have not secured your spot by now, I would imagine all the spots are gone. Obviously, they can only accommodate several thousand, and you had to go to the Jaguars site and kind of reserve your spot. You don't have to pay for it tomorrow, but you got to kind of reserve your spot. I would imagine just about all those spots are gone, but maybe you get lucky. We will see. So that is hour number one. Olivia Tasley from Action Sports Jax talking Jaguar stuff here on the program. Coming up in hour number two, excited to talk to our buddy Cade Kistner. Cade is obviously, if you know this show, you know Cade Kistner has been a frequent guest on our show. He is the Sports Illustrated publisher from the Major League Baseball side. He is dialed in hardcore with Major League Baseball. We'll talk some baseball with Cade Kistner about 5:30-ish or so here on the program. Cade will check in. But between now and then, we've got a lot to get to. The College World Series field is now set. All 8 teams are set. Murray State, for God's sakes, beat Duke last night. I was surprised. I didn't think Murray State was going to win that game last night at Duke. The Racers did. First time ever making it to the Men's College Baseball World Series in Omaha. They're going to be the Cinderella story. The entire field is set. We'll go over who's playing who and when to get things started. And quite a few upsets. There are only, 5 of the 8 teams in Omaha are national seeds that have fought their way. 3, and that's a big number, 3 teams that have made it to Omaha were not a national seed. And to be not a national seed, you're outside of the top 16. Arizona, Louisville, and Murray State, non-national seeded teams that have won their way. A, they had to get in a regional. B, they had to win the regional. C, they then had to go to a super regional and win a super regional. And D, now they are in Omaha. The tournament starts out in Omaha on Friday. We'll go over the setup. We've got 2 games on Friday, 2 games on Saturday. Sunday then turns into Elimination Sunday, and then it just kind of plays out. You've got 2 separate 4-team brackets, bracket 1, bracket 2. The 2 brackets, 8 teams make it to Omaha for college baseball. The 2 brackets of 4 teams each, they do not cross-pollinate, if you will. They do not play each other until each bracket has determined a champion. Bracket 1's champion will then meet up with bracket 2's champion. A week from this weekend, they will meet up in a best 2 out of 3 for the college baseball national championship. We'll go over the field, who's playing who, when they're playing, and get things started. We'll also have, as I said, some baseball talk a little bit later in hour number 2. Can't wait to talk to Cade Kistner, our buddy from Sports Illustrated. He is the baseball publisher. We'll talk to him a little bit later tonight. Hopefully we can at least squeeze in a few moments talking about the softball professional league, the AUSL, the Athletes Unlimited Softball League, the professional softball league that Major League Baseball has bought into. They kick off tonight. Obviously, it won't be a huge draw. I don't expect a huge TV audience, but the professional softball league, with the backing of the Major League Baseball organization, they start tonight, 8 o'clock. I believe it's on ESPN2. It's going to be fun to track. I'm looking forward to it. As you know, I am giddy for fast pitch softball. I think it's a fun sport. I think it's a sport that is perfect for television. And I also think what a great idea. And I hope they stick with this forever, for the lifetime of this league. And I hope it's forever, ... infinity. Great decision to start the league immediately after and immediately following the Women's College World Series. Texas just won the national championship in fast pitch softball. We know and we've seen these names, and I didn't dive into the entire rosters, but I do know the pitcher for Oklahoma, Landry, she will be pitching for one of the pro teams a week removed from the College World Series. We kind of know these girls. We kind of know the names, and we don't have to wait 6 or 7 months for the league to start. It starts almost immediately after the College Women's Softball National Championship has ended. I love that. I love that in terms of trying to build some name recognition and to keep the momentum going. Great, 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 great move by this new league. We will track that. The Florida Gators recently announced that it looks like their basketball home opener will be November 11th. They play a couple of tournaments before, at least one tournament before, but it looks like the Gators' home opener in basketball 2025-26 season will be November 11th, facing Florida State. Oh, I want to dive into that. My goodness. What a tough month of November it could be for the Florida State Seminoles facing the Florida Gators in multiple sports. We will dive into that as we go. A lot to get to the program, on the program today, coming to you from Hurricane Georgia Creek. Not raining now, but word is we've got some heavy rain. If you're out there and get caught in the rain, please, please, please be careful driving, and hopefully you can make it to your destination. With that, let's see if our buddy we can check back into the studio, and I'm having some hearing issues here. Is why I want to see if I can hit some buttons here. 1 second. I'm getting a little static in my ears as we welcome our buddy producing. Am I being heard okay? I'm having some trouble with some feedback a little bit here. Let me check back in the studio.
You're fine.
Okay, everything's good. How you doing, my friend?
I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Anyway, we'll work through it. I'll come back to you. But a couple things we want to get to when we get to the Jaguar mini camp. When Olivia joins us, hopefully she's going to walk down the hall and or hook up on the hookup with us here. Today, first day of mandatory mini camp. Things I hope get worked out. You've got 3 days, 3 pretty intense days, I would expect. Number one, the the Travis Hunter plan. What is the plan? Is there a plan with Travis Hunter? Is it feeling out? I mean, what Travis Hunter is trying to do in the NFL with the Jacksonville Jaguars is really groundbreaking. What's the plan? Will it lean more offense? Will it lean more defense? Will they try to lean it 50-50? And, you've got to ask yourself, with Travis Hunter, you trade up, you make a big move, and did you make the move? If Travis Hunter, this coming NFL football season, if he is a good, solid wide receiver, and he also gives you some good, solid defensive back play, is that good enough? For what you gave up, for what you mortgaged, is it good enough for Travis Hunter to play two positions and be pretty good at both? Or do you need Travis Hunter to at least be a star? I mean, an upper echelon star at one of the two positions, either wide receiver or defensive back. And I ask that because if he's just a good, solid, part-time wide receiver, part-time defensive back, was that enough? And Casey, I'm going to try and bring you in. Hopefully I can hear you okay. Your thoughts on what I just outlaid, everything you gave up this year, and it's going to come, the mortgage is going to come due next year when you don't have a first-round pick. What happens if Travis Hunter is, he's a two-position guy. We don't know the percentage of each position. But, Casey, what happens if he's pretty good as a wide receiver, he's pretty good as a DB? Is that enough, or does Travis Hunter have to make it worth the Jaguars' while? Does Travis Hunter have to be great at least one of the positions, Casey?
I mean, as long as you win games, I don't necessarily think it matters.
Okay, I can buy into that. With that as a backdrop, I don't think I'm way out of bounds by thinking, gosh darn, I think the Jaguars are going to be in that 6-11 type range. If the Jaguars are 6-11, even 7-10, and Hunter is pretty good catching the football, and he showed some stuff defending the pass, is that enough, Casey, going into next year with no number one pick? I don't know.
I mean, listen, I think ideally he's really good at one or decent at both. But again, man, I think if you're winning games, that draft pick becomes less relevant because it's not as good.
And I know it's way early. We're way ahead of our official picks, but I mean, I don't think I'm going to come off too far one way or the other. I think the Jaguars roster is in that 6-11 type final record. I don't know. It's my big concern is you and me and Jaguar Nation and Duval and anyone else that is wearing teal. My big concern is this time next year, it was just a mundane year. It was more losses than wins. And the holes are continuing to be exposed. But you're going into it and go, well, how do we start plugging more holes with no first-round pick? That's the big rub, I think. I don't know. That's the big rub. Any thoughts on something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not worried about it at this point. I think also Travis Hunter gives you a lot off the field in terms of business-wise and other things that Shad Khan would care about that we don't necessarily care about. So
he certainly looks like he will be one of the more gregarious ambassadors of the brand, right? I mean,
definitely.
And it looks like that's the easy part for him. And And frankly, everybody's not good at that part. And I'm not saying the Jaguars drafted Travis Hunter to be the electric smile, the gregarious personality, but he's good at that. That's his natural personality, and there is some value to that. There is some value, and it also may buy him some time. It may buy him some time. So we'll talk some more Jaguars in a little bit. Hopefully with Olivia Tashley from Action Sports Jax. Going back, the College World Series field is now set. Last night, I missed on that game. I thought Duke at home would beat Murray State. Murray hung in there. Much lower scoring game than I thought. Murray State goes on the road, and who did they knock off? Ole Miss and Duke. I mean, they go knock off SEC. I believe they knocked off Ole Miss in the regionals. Ole Miss, SEC. They knock off Duke, ACC, the two dominant conferences. Murray State now has claimed the 8th and final spot in the College World Series. Here's the setup. I want to go over the setup because we're going to talk about this quite a bit today and the rest of the week as 8 teams will convene in Omaha for the College Baseball World Series. Friday, Game 1, 2 p.m., Arizona, and you talk about a tough bounce back. The Wildcats, this is a proud baseball program. They've won national titles. They have a great history of Omaha. What about the Wildcats? They get beat 18-2. They come back and win 2 in a row on the road at Chapel Hill. I'll tell you what, let's reset baseball in a little bit. We've got Olivia Tashley, I believe, set up and ready to go. Olivia, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, you sound great. You look great. How the heck are you?
Good. Sorry, what was that?
Just saying, how the heck are you?
Oh, I'm good. I told Casey, I was like, I'm still glistening from Jags camp, if you can tell. But yeah, I'm good. I mean, I love going out to practice. It's always a good time, and a lot of people to talk to today.
And that's exactly why we have you here. We wanted you to do the hard work, to go get the heat stroke, and come back. I guess, did you dodge the rain? Was there any rain this morning, or was everything clean?
No, it was good. It was really humid and muggy out more than normal, but it was good. It was good. I mean, the early mornings is nice, I will say. It's tough waking up at 6 a.m., but it's worth it when you're out there at.
And we're visiting with Olivia Tashley from Action Sports Jax. Olivia, I know you and the entire team these next 3 days. I mean, this is go time now. This is not a voluntary. This is not rookie. This is mandatory camp. I would imagine everybody that's not injured or has a special reasoning, everybody who's out there. Overview, what'd you see? Obviously, you know the talking points. Travis Hunter, offensive line. Just an overview before we dive into it. What'd you see today?
Yeah, overview. So the really cool thing about the Jags is that they are really bought into this new regime, to Liam Cohen, to the new coaches as well. Because OTAs, it felt like full capacity. And we've even talked about, I even asked Liam, I was like, I know OTAs, you had nearly 100% perfect attendance. Did it feel different at all with now that you know that everybody is here? The only person missing was Cam Camper. He just had a baby recently. So he was probably on dad duty for that. But other than that, I mean, it seems like everyone's really been there, including Josh Hines-Allen, who usually spends his offseason out in Arizona. So it's really cool to see the buy-in. Everyone's super excited. I asked Liam, what was the main difference? What are you looking for? He's like, it was just cool to see everybody in the team room for the very first time. He's seeing his team for the very first time. It's exciting. It's really cool. So overview, the attendance wasn't really a major topic because everyone's really already been here. Obviously for us, it was when we all noticed that Travis Hunter was in a white jersey. That was the main thing.
What did that signify? The white jersey, what's that signify?
So the white jersey signifies that he's on defense. He was in his corner position as opposed to being a wide receiver in a teal jersey on offense. Okay. So that for us was the big thing. We were all obviously looking forward to it. All our eyes were glued on him when he was doing one-on-ones with the secondary coach to start things off, and then he was doing the drills. Looked good, but nothing notable. There was no major interception, no batted down pass.
And we'll get
like a few times here and there on the defensive side on the ball, whereas as a wide receiver, he's getting a lot more reps, a lot more time at that position as opposed to being a corner. So it was, for us, it was just cool to see him finally as a corner. But of course, we were all having our fingers crossed for that big takeaway during 7-on-7.
And I know, Olivia, you made a comment a moment ago. Nothing really stood out. A couple of days ago, I guess last week, he had that interception where he tips the ball. I don't know, was it an interception or a completion? I can't remember if it was wide receiver or DB. But he tips the ball. He catches it midair. He lands prone to the ground, and I immediately grabbed my collarbone. I'm like, "Oh my God!" Hopefully he didn't have any situation like that, because as important as minicamp is, and particularly for a rookie, gosh darn, you want to get to late August, early September healthy. And when I saw him land last week, and we had footage with Action Sports Jax of him, man, I'm like, can we put this guy in a bubble? Can we just?
That's how we feel about everybody, right?
Yeah.
Can you just teach him August, September healthy?
Absolutely. Can you just teach him the formations, offense and defense? And man, when he landed, I was like, oh my goodness. You mentioned attendance, and you were talking about the players. We're visiting with Olivia Tassley right here from Action Sports Jax, our sports team. You were talking about the players. Today was no fans, right? Tomorrow's the fan day. Is that correct? Talk about that.
Yeah. Tomorrow's the fan day. I'll actually be out there bright and early with Marcel Robinson at 7 a.m. doing news hits for our news side of things. So I'll be doing that bright and early. I'll go over, the what to expect, what to do, what not to bring, and all that type of stuff. The fan shop will be open, so I'm sure those Travis Hunter jerseys that I saw in the window today will be off the shelves in no time. But yeah, Tony Baselli's actually talking to the public at 8:55. I believe he takes the mic, and then practice will get underway at 9. So you want to get there early. You want to get your seats, and you want to hear Tony talk, because it's always a good time when he gets on the mic.
Olivia, you've covered these before. This is nothing new, and I don't want to put you on the spot on a position group that maybe you weren't watching today, but do you think there is anything to, if you happen to be watching the first offensive snap today on air, obviously no pads, is there anything to who was the running back the first time? Who was the offensive guard? Do you think there's a rhyme or reason, or is it so early you can't really read into? Tank Bigsby took the first snap. ETN took the first snap. Tootin, the quick guy. What are your thoughts on something like that?
Yeah, I think it's too early at this point. I think everyone is really just learning the schemes, learning the playbooks, and it's really kind of a puzzle and fitting. Where do these guys fit well? I mean, when I was out there today, I saw a couple ETN runs, I saw a couple Tank runs, and of course it was with Trevor. But then I also saw a sleeper, in my opinion, and it's Deion Singer as a wide receiver.
Okay.
And I saw him from Utah, a rookie from Utah. I mean, he really lit up the grass today. So that was my sleeper guy to watch out there. But yeah, I think right now it's all about honing in on the routes and seeing, whose strengths where, whose weaknesses here, and all that stuff. And for Liam Cohen, I asked him, what's the difference between OTAs and mandatory minicamp for you as a head coach? And he said, right now, it's really making sure that we are upticking in competition. He wants everyone to compete for their job. So he's going to plug and play guys everywhere that he wants, but he also wants to see the competition on the offense and on the defense side of the ball when they go at it during drills. So right now it's just seeing where everyone plugs and plays. I mean, it's kind of like everyone's like a Travis Hunter right now, right? Where do you fit here on the offense, and where do you fit here on the defense, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's really just, these guys, they learn the playbook in OTAs. That's kind of what OTAs is for, is learning the playbook. Now you're seeing it on the grass, really in more focused and more detailed compared to OTAs.
And Olivia, I would imagine now where we sit today, you've probably been around this team enough, and going back to Travis Hunter, because he will be the dominant talking point for quite a while his first year. It seems like, and Casey and I were talking a moment ago, Hunter's gregarious outgoing personality. That certainly seems legitimate and natural, as opposed to, oh, I'm going to go win over the city. And do you get that point? It just seems like he is a mark. If his play on the field backs up his gregarious nature, boy, this guy could be everything rolled into one, from a player and a marketing just home run.
Yeah, he is everything, all of that in a bag of chips, so to say. I mean, that's him. That's his person. He's not doing this for the cameras. That is Travis Hunter. He smiles. He sees someone focusing on a camera, and he'll like do a little goofy smile, or pop up the thumbs. He's a fun kid, and that's what it is. He says, I'm just a fun kid at heart. He's playing in the NFL. This is his dream job. So This is fun for him. He's out there dancing, but you see the moment he's next man up, he instantly locks in. Like, it's no more dancing. It's no more smiling. He locks in on his play. And then once the play is done and he does a good job, he has to do a good job, because if he doesn't do a good job, he's going to run it back, and he's going to make sure that he gets that second chance at that drill. But yeah, that's who he is. And everyone I've spoken to, from the wide receiver room to the cornerback room, even Jarian Jones I spoke with today, and brought him up. He goes, no, he's always been that way. And Jarian's known him for a few years now. And he's like, since day one I met this kid, he's always been on that extra level, with everyone trying to keep up with him.
Visiting with Olivia Tassley from Action Sports Jax. She's part of the team, obviously, that covers and really will be delivering an incredible amount of coverage from Jaguar camp today, tomorrow, and, of course, Thursday, and then as the offseason progresses. Olivia, obviously, Trevor Lawrence had a shoulder issue. It was his non-throwing shoulder, but as we know, and Lord knows I have Dr. Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist every Wednesday, and we talk about all the mechanics. He's the doc, I'm just the listener, but the mechanics of playing high-level athletics, I don't care if it's a golf swing, a baseball pitch, a quarterback pass, your whole body is invested in throwing or catching. Lawrence, I know it's a non-throwing shoulder. Did you have a chance? Did he look fluid today? Did you really watch him throw the ball? Did he look like he was on a pitch count? And I hear, did he have a sleeve on or something today? How did Lawrence look throwing the ball, if you happen to watch him today?
Yeah, I will shoot down all scary notions, because he did have a sleeve on today. It's fine. He's okay. He just wants to wear it to keep everything warm. He's had it on during OTAs. I even, asked Marcel's, like, that's not odd, right? Like, he's worn that before. And Marcel's like, yeah, no, like, it's, national guys like blowing it up because he had a sleeve on. He's okay. I promise. He just likes to keep it warm so that he can stay fluid. And that it doesn't bother him or gets locked up or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, the sleeve is nothing to be concerned about, people. I promise you that. But yeah, I mean, he looks good. There's a couple, overthrown passes here, a couple missed passes there. Sure, it's going to happen. It's camp. You do this stuff in camp so that it doesn't get done during the season. But yeah, I mean, footwork has been a huge topic when it comes to Trevor Lawrence. When you ask Liam, just getting him faster. And I actually saw when Trevor was trying to make a play, he was stagnant a little bit. And I looked immediately behind him was Grant Udinsky, and he was trying to he's like telepathically like move, or like throw the ball. So it was like a fun little moment of like, okay, like they're still working on it. But yeah, like you can tell, because at one point then he was like, oh crap, I should move. And so it was 2-3 seconds, but 2-3 seconds in the NFL is basically an eternity. But yeah, he will get faster. You see him adapting to that and getting the footwork going, and you definitely see him being a little bit more mobile. But obviously I want him as protected, so you don't have to be mobile, so you don't have to get in those situations. I really want that offensive line to keep Trevor upright this season.
I promise a couple more things, Olivia, and I'll let you go. Olivia Tassley from Action Sports Jax, obviously part of our team that covers the Jaguars about as good as anybody anywhere in this area. Staying with Liam Cohen, I'm lazy. I want Olivia and Stuart and Brent and all you folks to do all the work and go out, and I want to research off listening to you guys and watching you guys. if you know what I mean.
That's totally fine.
I haven't been around Liam Cohen in person. I see and hear and knew of him from Kentucky and his NFL days. When he got the job and he popped up on everybody's screens, I described him as and I mean this in a loving way, goofy, likable. He's kind of got a little goofy, likable. You've been around him now for a couple of months. What's your take on Liam Cohen? Is that hopefully the job's not too big for him? I mean, this is first go around. He seems like a pretty good guy to go have a beer with. What's your take on Liam Cohen?
Yeah, I think what's fun about him is just he's so real. He's so like, you can go up to him and say hi. I mean, I was there when Brent interviewed him right off of that head coach introduction.
Sure.
And Brent showed him his Rhode Island sweatshirt from Cohen's rivalry team that Brent went to, I guess. And he was just like, I can't touch that. I don't want anything to do with that. It's just, it's fun. It's humorous. And, you know, they just get to talking. I'm like, okay, but we actually have like an official interview to going. But yeah, he's so easy to talk to. He's so approachable. He's really fun. He's just one of those guys that you can tell he loves his job and he loves what he's doing and he wants to be nowhere else but at the Jags headquarters. And so it makes everything a lot more fun. I tell this to my friends about Brent all the time. When you have a boss that just loves what they're doing, it makes life so much easier because it just drives your passion. It makes you want to be better. And I think that's what Liam is giving off to this team, because I spoke with Darian Jones today after practice, and he says, it's so fun. It's so fun being here. And I just love being here. The energy is so good. So yeah, it's just a good time. And that's, you know, I'm loving covering practice. You know, I haven't really been in this mindset before. Like, yeah, it's like kind of like I have to go, but like, no, like I want to be there. I will be there at whatever time you want me to be there. It's just a fun time. It's good. And everyone looks like they're having fun.
Talk about last couple things. Tomorrow is fan day. Basically, you have to have, I guess, secure. There's not a cost, but you have to secure a couple of spots. To your knowledge, is it sold out? Could somebody still go on? I would imagine, and they're going to cap it, right? There's only so many people that can fit in there. From the fan perspective, is there a chance at all, or is it pretty much sold out? And B, can you map out the next couple of days coverage on Action Sports Jax from Jaguar camp?
Yeah, for sure. So tomorrow, as far as I know, it's not sold out, but I haven't checked recently. I was actually going to reach out to some of the PR girls since I will be going out there and doing live shots tomorrow. So for more information on that, be sure to tune in to Action News Jax on CBS.
There you go.
At 7 a.m. But yeah, as far as I'm, you know, remember, you can still go. It's, you know, register. You have to register to go. And you can get your ticket, so to say, and just go enjoy a good time out there and then just watch and see, you know, if you didn't go out there for OTAs or not OTAs, rookie mini camp. Because we did open that when Travis Hunter was out there. So yeah, I mean, call in, you know, say I'm going to be a little late for work or something like that and join us out there. It's a good time. So yeah, fans, don't worry. It's not going to be too hot. You have the big fans, you have the shade, so you're going to be okay. I promise. But yeah, I think you still have time to register. I don't believe it is sold out, but I will keep you up to date on that. And
I'm assuming, as always, wall-to-wall coverage from you and your team at Action Sports Jax.
Oh yeah, we will always have. We have 2 interviews every day with a player. Me and Marcel, we each interview a different player, and then of course you have podium sound from Liam, Udinsky, Camp, and then I know Travis Hunter is talking this week, and Trevor Lawrence as well, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that they're talking. We had Logan Cook up today because he just signed that 4-year
the extension. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So he's psyched up about it. He's like, listen, I just want to fish in football, and so it was nice to get this contract extension done. So he's really excited to be here for another 4 years. And then we also had Jordan Lewis at the podium. So a lot of player sound to get to over the next few days. We'll have that, of course, at 6:30 on Fox 30, 10:30 on Fox 30, and 11:30 on CBS 47. Of course, Action Sports Jax Primetime will be airing those full one-on-ones that Marcel and I get all throughout Action Sports Jax Primetime.
And everything, I'm assuming, should be archived if you don't get it live or immediate, you can go back and catch up on everything, right?
Yeah, and we'll be sure to post it across all social media platforms. We're going to air a lot of it as well on the Brent and Austin show. It'll just be, like the next day. So you'll have the Jarian and the Brenton Strange. Marcel spoke with Brenton Strange today. So we'll have those tomorrow on the Brent and Austin show.
I've kept you too long. I knew this was going to be wonderful. Thank you so much. I hope we can get you back on the show. Patrick's out today, but I know he'll enjoy talking to you. And down the road, not to be sexist, I can't wait to get your thoughts. I am just giddy on the new, as a matter of fact, tonight is the first game, the professional softball league that Major League Baseball has bought into. I can't wait. I want to get your female perspective as well on some stuff as we go all summer. And I really appreciate your time. You did a great job. Thank you so much, Olivia.
Of course. Anytime. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your show, guys. That's
our friend Olivia Tassley right here from Action Sports Jax, checking in from Jaguar Camp. Good report from Olivia. Let's take a break, come back, get back into what I was starting to start laying out. The college baseball World Series schedule is out. We now know we have all 8 teams. We know who's playing who on Friday. We know who's playing who on Saturday. We'll go over that schedule. And stay with us a little bit later in hour number 2, about 5:30. A heavy dose of Major League Baseball talk with our buddy Cade Kistner from Sports Illustrated. That and a whole lot more. Stay with us right here. It is the Young and Norvelle Show on Action Sports Jax, coming to you live from Hurricane Jointon Creek.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jax Beach features all that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jax Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The schedules are out for another summer of soccer here in Jacksonville with the Armada men's and women's under-23 squads, starting with the ladies and the home opener on May 24th. 2 weeks later, they're back in Northeast Florida for a June 7th matchup. The season wraps up with a pair of Friday night home matches June 20th and the 27th. As for the boys in blue, they debut against a couple league newcomers on May 9th and 17th respectively, with more home dates on May 31st, June 14th, and June 21st. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax Pal.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jax, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jax is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jax 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Okay, back we are. There's a overhead look of downtown Jacksonville. Cloudy. That's we kidded around the other day. That's the standard June, July, August high camera shot of downtown Jacksonville as we are in the dog days of summer, and we'll be out of it. Football season will be here before you know it. Terry Norvelle here on a Tuesday. We're live at Hurricane Jointon Creek holding this wonderful menu. By the way, when you have wings in your name, you better have a lot of flavors. They've got over 30 flavors of wings you can mix and match. Great wing choice. Sandwiches, tacos, quesadillas, starters, a little bit of everything. Full service bar, and a tremendous atmosphere here at the Hurricane location in the heart of Mandarin, right at the base of Jointon Creek. You can't go wrong. I was here Saturday for their big party. Spent a couple hours here, their anniversary party. It was a big time. And if you know, you know. If you don't know, get by Hurricane Jointon Creek sometime soon. You will be glad you did. Terry Norvelle here. Casey Kurtz producing, as always. I want to thank again Olivia Tassley for a wonderful report. She was at Jaguar mini camp today, and along with our entire Action Sports Jax team, she will be covering tomorrow and Thursday as mandatory mini camp is upon us. Gosh darn, where are we at? June 10th. We're going to look up. It's going to be the 4th of July. And you folks know, I think it's almost a law that once you pass the 4th of July, it's football season. And we are right around the corner. College and pro football is gearing up. Been a quick off season for me. Sometimes these off seasons drag, but it's been a pretty quick off season for me. All right, College Baseball World Series. The field is now set. Last night in a much lower scoring game than I thought, Murray State on the road knocked out Duke. Murray State, I think there was a 5-4 final. Murray State moves on. So here is the setup in Omaha. It'll get started on Friday. You have two brackets of 4 teams each. Those two brackets will play basically a tournament among themselves. They will determine a winner from each bracket. Those two will then play a best 2 out of 3 championship series. That's the way they've been doing it in college baseball for the last 10 years or more, maybe 15, if you will. Here are the brackets in case you're not familiar. And again, these are Friday games. 2 games on Friday. You have Arizona taking on Coastal Carolina. Friday, 2 o'clock. Arizona, Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina, the number 13 national seed. They seed the top 16. Coastal Carolina is the 13th seed. Arizona, not a national seed, and they had a tough path. Man, they had to grind through a good North Carolina team in Chapel Hill. But Friday from Omaha, game number 1, Arizona in bracket number 1. Arizona will host Coastal Carolina, 2 o'clock first pitch, Eastern Standard Time. Arizona has won multiple College World Series. They are a blue blood program. Coastal Carolina, a new program to major college athletics the last 20 years. Coastal Carolina, once they've gone Division I, they have won a College World Series. They won the whole thing, and I believe it was back in 2016. So Arizona, Coastal Carolina, game 1 Friday, College World Series kicks off 2 p.m. The night game on Friday will be Louisville taking on Oregon State. Oregon State is a power in college baseball the last 20 years. Not historically a power, but the last 20 years, Oregon State has won 3 national titles in college baseball. Louisville, they've been there before. They haven't taken it all home. Louisville from the ACC, and carrying the ACC banner will take on Oregon State. That's your second game on Friday. Saturday, the second half of the field, bracket 2, if you will get started in Omaha. Saturday, Murray State, the darlings now, the underdog darlings of the field. Murray State will take on UCLA, a perennial baseball power. Typical UCLA team. They really pitch it, and they really field it. One of, if not considered the best defensive team in college baseball. UCLA will take on Murray State Saturday. That is also a 2 o'clock first pitch, mid-afternoon Saturday. Murray State, UCLA out in Omaha. The night game, and I think really the marquee game of the tournament, opening day or days, if you will, LSU will take on Arkansas. I hate the fact that the two big boys from the SEC are playing each other in the opening round, but LSU will take on Arkansas Saturday night, first pitch, 7 p.m. So that sets up the 4 games coming up, 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday to kick off the College World Series in Omaha. Now, I think we've got Patrick Young on. Pat, how you doing?
Yes, sir.
Hey, buddy.
Sorry I couldn't be on. We started.
Yeah, go ahead.
Man.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Oh, man. I was tired. I had to go to Gainesville. I had to go to Gainesville this morning super early, and now I'm back home.
Talk about it.
Yeah, it's my foundation. We partnered with this medical equipment company and wanted to make a really cool kind of sit down interview with the owner. This medical device, it helps people who, can't move their legs, and really cool. The name of the company is Myolin, and the symbol, it looks like a cell, but it's actually a neuron. And myo is short for muscle. I don't know what language, probably in Latin. And then lin is short for lightning. So it's a company that sends lightning to the muscles to elicit responses that help people that have disabilities like mine, that maybe they can't move their legs, but they can regain movement or circulation. And it's just one of those things that helps people, when you have an injury like mine. Technically, they would say that your life expectancy is shortened, but you combat that by moving your body as much as you can. So here we are, and now I'm back. Now I'm back home in Jackson. Man, I got there. I think I left this morning at 7:30 to get to Gainesville, and then came back about 2 o'clock. Maybe a little bit after that, and whew, a lot of driving this morning, Terry. A lot of driving.
How about did you beat the rain? Did you get back before the rain?
I beat the rain. Right when I got there to the church where we did the filming, it started raining right after I got there, and then I experienced no rain when I got here.
Yeah. Patrick, I don't mean to pry in your business. I rarely do ever, and it's not. It's not my position to pry in your business. But you mentioned leg movement and moving, and I think just knowing you pretty good for 3 years, you go to a lot of a rehab. Is that, are you working out your leg muscles? You still need to keep those muscles moving, or am I way off base?
Yeah, you need to find ways that can keep you from. Look, we all know that sitting is the new smoking, is what a lot of people say.
Yeah,
and if you're not doing, it not only is sitting, a detriment to health, but just convenience. Convenience has become a detriment to people, to our health. Like, you might not like going up the stairs, but when you stop entirely going up and down the stairs and you don't work out at all, again, life expectancy goes down. Sitting all day, your hip flexors get tight. And the biggest thing of it, Terry, is as technology and things are advancing, like there's some really cool things coming down the line for spinal cord injuries. You won't be qualified to even use to apply for this stuff if your body, if you haven't been keeping it at least loose enough to walk again.
Sure.
If you're not doing anything and your legs and hips and knees get all tight, they're gonna say, sorry, sir or ma'am, we can't help you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I've gotten into, and you and I, when we have Dr. Bates on, we've talked about stretching a lot. The last 10 years or so, I'm not going to sit around and stretch for 2 hours, but man, when I'm at the gym, Patrick, I make it a point between sets. I touch my toes and
Nice.
I trunk twist, and I try to find a location to stretch my Achilles. Man, I think stretch, and I feel so much better when I do that, just from a use it or lose it kind of standpoint.
As you should, yeah. No, I mean, I would say one of my biggest regrets as an athlete is not
Same here.
spending more time even at a younger age. I mean,
Stretching.
if you're not working on your hips,
Yeah.
even at the age of 18, up to that, like your hips are not going to be as mobile. That's why, you look at gymnasts, they've been doing it since they were so young, and they do that force stretching stuff.
Yeah.
Which is, did we ask Dr. Bates about that?
No.
Like you'll see a girl in a split position, and there's two of her teammates holding her down.
Yes.
And she's screaming, not screaming, but you can tell it hurts a lot. Like,
yeah,
that can't be good for you, right?
I see a lot of I watch way more college basketball than I do NBA, of course, but I've seen it for the years, even games I go to. College basketball players, man, there seems like there's almost 1-for-1. You've got a assistant medical person helping those guys on the basketball court, an hour before tip-off. I mean, they're pushing them all the way to the ground, torso, and they're stretching their legs, and it looks a little painful, but man, you go, man, that's got to feel good once you stretch everything out.
Man, my favorite thing, because Preston Green was our strength coach, he would do a few guys before out on the court. Man, when he tell you to lay on your stomach, and he do a little compression on your back and get you that little back pop. Ooh, man.
Man,
but you bring up a great point, Terry, because thinking about, and I don't know where you're going, but you didn't mention basketball. Olivier Roux.
Yeah.
One of the big things, because I was asking Denver Parlor about this. I'm like, hey, Denver, why hasn't Olivier transferred, gone somewhere to play, and then come back?
Yeah.
The idea was they wanted him to be in a place where he can learn his body, where he can get the best, Division I, high major athletic care, so he can, at 7'9", be on balance and not be a rock.
Yeah.
Should he? I still think he should be playing more, but I don't even think he's going to play at all this year. Really, even Terry.
Is that right? He may sit another year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Development year, definitely. Hey, Pat,
Terry, have you watched this show Landman, by the way, by chance?
No, I've heard a lot of people talk about it. What's the deal with it?
Well, I don't want to give a conclusion because I have one episode left. But if you're a Billy Bob Thornton fan, or if you're on the fence about him, you love him after this series because he's such a great actor.
Right.
Oil, and they have a lot of parts in this series to talk about how oil is in everything. Oil ain't going nowhere, baby. all these activists and things and that. Oil is in everything, Terry.
Really?
And if you were fortunate and blessed enough to be born into an oil family, you are living in a different world.
I didn't know that oil's that pervasive. I didn't know that.
Yeah, once you, and he addresses, solar, wind turbines, all those things. Yeah, you put it requires oil to make those things, and those things will never be as efficient as oil. Like, you can put a solar panel out there for, I don't know, a month, and it will make you enough energy to do one house.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow, really?
Yes.
I'd have thought
Yes.
more than that. Wow.
You would think more than that. Oh, they say it so much more eloquently, and that's and it's funny. It's this show is in Texas, and it shows a lot of different these football stadiums, these huge high school football stadiums coming from oil money too.
Yeah. How about that? Hey, you mentioned the big wind farm turbines, that you
Yeah.
find out in certain parts. Have you ever been close to one of those? I mean, really to grasp how big they are. I've driven out in the Pacific Northwest in like Eastern Washington, which is very rural, and driving out to the Pacific Northwest, there's times you'll go through a mountainous area and they'll have those wind farms, and certain roads you'll get pretty close. Those wind turbine things that spin to create, you can't imagine how big
How
they
massive.
are.
And that's another point, Terry. To the climate activists that are saying, why don't we use more wind turbines? Wind is natural. Those turbines, first off, let's think of this. Transportation. What do you got to use?
How to get them out there. I wonder about that. They're so big.
Oil.
Yeah.
And then they do, I think they end up incentivizing farmers and people that own a lot of land to put them on there.
Yeah.
But they last for 10 years, and then they're just they're a detriment to the environment. How do you get rid of one?
Yeah, how do you get rid of them? They also
They last for like 10 years.
They can kill a lot of the birds and stuff. I mean, these things they look like they're so big, they look like they're barely moving, but they're moving very fast.
It's a dangerous job to have to go up there and maintenance it.
Yeah. They are some. I don't know how we got off on that subject, but hey, Pat, real quick while we have you before we get out of here, we got time. What about?
Are we going to continue our conversation from yesterday with Brent Beard? That was a good talk. We were having a good talk.
That was good. Maybe we can try it tomorrow when he's back on. Hey, did you see where Murray, the Cinderella of College World Series, Murray State went into Duke and they knocked off Ole Miss. At Ole Miss, they knocked off Duke. At Murray State has made it to Omaha in baseball. How about that? Murray State, the Racers.
I didn't know they had a baseball team. Murray State is a school known for having a basketball team that pops into the tournament here and there.
Yeah, they've made the tournament a bunch of times.
So how highly ranked was Duke? Duke was they were a top 15 team.
They were right on the cusp. I'm not sure if they were a top 16 rank, but no, Duke's good, and they played good.
Well, look at that. I mean, we talk about parody and Cinderella stories not being something that we're going to see as much. And I guess when you go 2 out of 3 in baseball at a super regional team gets there,
it was a good game. I watched most of it. It was a good game. By the way, your prominent Murray State alumni athletes, Ja Morant. You remember that guy? Morant.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Popeye Jones, like 6'7" power forward? He played years ago. He was a good player for Murray State. And how about
but he has a great name.
Popeye Jones. He was a good, solid player. Do you know, does the name, and Casey, we may or may not have this in the system, does the name Jim Varney, Ernest P. Worrell, does that name ring a bell? Ernest P. Worrell.
No, not at all.
Jim Varney was an actor, passed away. He played a character called, you ever remember a commercial series? You'd see a guy named Ernest, and he would say, "Hey, Vern. Hey, Vern." You don't remember that?
I don't think so.
All right, that's
sorry, man. Sorry, Terry. I'm showing my age. We're both showing our ages here. Sorry.
Yes, we are. College baseball gets started. Hey, real quick, before I want you to help us talk about the Jacksonville Basketball Academy. All the camps are going on until early August. Plenty of time to get your basketball players signed up for the Jacksonville Basketball Academy basketball camps.
Speaking of,
did you see, Patrick? How about this? And I feel bad for Florida State fans because I don't think there's anything they can do about it. Coming up in November, it was announced yesterday that Florida and Florida State have set their basketball. They play once a year. As you know, you played in that game 4 times. So Florida and Florida State will play basketball this year coming up in November. November 11th, the game is in Gainesville. So, Patrick, the football game is also in Gainesville in November, right? So I don't like Florida State's chances in either football or basketball in Gainesville coming up in November. Patrick, as I understand it, the basketball game, November 11th, Florida hosting Florida State, that will be the first home game of the season. Well, guess what the Gators are going to do, I would imagine, the first home game of the season with Florida State in the house? They're going to parade that national championship banner out, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, duh.
Patrick, they're going to unveil the on the night that FSU's there, they're going to say, hey, here's the 3-time national champion Florida Gators
versus the zero-time Final Four. Florida State. So you said they timed it up where it's football and basketball weekend.
Well, it's not the exact same weekend, but the month of November is going to be hard for FSU, I think, in Gainesville.
Yeah.
November 11th, your basketball team is going to roll into Gainesville, and pregame there's going to be a huge unveiling of the national title banner.
We need, and Coach Martin's good to hop on with us today at 5:30. If you don't have anybody else at that slot, are you good at that time? But I was going to say we need to have a one of your Florida State reporter friends to come on and try to defend. I need them to come in here and defend the Seminoles and what's going on there. We need some insider news.
Nice,
because it seems I think nothing is happening in Tallahassee. Come on.
It's a dry time right now, and I was hoping FSU baseball would make it Omaha because they need the brand. Florida State needs the brand to be out there, man. The brand has gone away. Yeah, we've got a guest coming up at 5:30, so we'll try to get Coach on another day soon. I know the camps are going on. But, Patrick, after basketball November 11th, November 29th, FSU comes to Gainesville in football, and I don't think it's going to be a pretty football game for FSU either against the Gators.
I know, right? How many days? Hold on, let me ask Siri or Alexa. Alexa, how many days until football season?
First game of the 2024 NFL season is between
Not NFL. Don't need that. Alexa, how many days until the first college football game?
Nice.
College football started 288 days ago.
Oh my gosh.
How many?
You technology, man. Terry, you look it up. Sometimes use Chat GPT. It's telling me college football started 200 and something days ago. What in the world?
No. There's only about 80 days before college football season starts.
80 days? Golly, that's still more than I thought.
It's probably in the 80s.
Terry, could you imagine if football season was in the summer?
It'd be different, wouldn't it? See, the absolute perfect world for a football junkie would be the NFL stays where they're at in their calendar, and college football kicks off March 1st. March, April, May. There's your spring, and there's your fall and winter.
Yeah. That would be. But how would it work for an NFL draft?
Yeah,
I guess no. Right after college, but
yeah,
you would need to time it up where there's more than enough time.
Yeah.
For OTAs and rookie training camps and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, you could go straight to like the WNBA. Yeah. They go straight to the draft after
they really
college,
do.
the season is over. Obviously NBA and NFL, there's a lot of time between, but that would be ideal.
You pointed it out, though, Patrick. In that scenario I just laid out, one of the big problems is if you're the college player that gets drafted, you would never have any time off. You got to have some time off. You would play in the spring, the draft, and then they'd say, "Hey, go to your camp in August." You're like, "Man, I need some time off, man. I'm beat up."
That's true.
Yeah.
So then maybe maybe there's enough overlap so that the college season it would start maybe three quarters of the way of the NFL. So you make it. Man, dude, you ever follow soccer? Like professional soccer athletes, like big time, they get zero time off.
Really?
All year.
I didn't know that. Really?
Because they have if they're good enough, they have to represent all their international team stuff.
I didn't know that.
Sometimes the international games, they're in the middle of the regular season stuff.
Well, that's what hurts like the Olympic basketball now.
Yeah.
If you're an NBA guy, you play your season all the way through April, May, June. If you play for the Olympic team, you got to start meeting and practicing in the summer. The Olympics are in August, and then your basketball season starts again.
That's it, man. Yeah.
That is
even in basketball and international basketball, that's why sometimes people get frustrated for certain tournaments and like, why aren't the best guys playing? NBA guys are not leaving the middle of their season to go represent the country. That is not happening.
It's crazy and risk entry. Yeah. Patrick, I know and I'll let you go after this. We'll take a break. I know I'm probably the only guy, but do you realize tonight? I hope I'm awake. 8 o'clock, ESPN2, the Athletes Unlimited softball league starts tonight. The one that I'm excited about this league.
I'm glad you said that. Coach Walton reached out to me. I'm going to ask him if he can hop on and talk to us a little bit about that.
Man, I can't wait to watch this thing. I hope I can remember and watch it. But tonight is the inaugural game, the first game, and I think this league, if Major League Baseball truly supports it and they can strong arm a good TV deal, I think this thing could make it, Patrick. Maybe I'm crazy.
I know, right? I think it can make it.
Yeah. There's
dude, I mean,
it's a fun sport, man.
Got my sound? There we go. I don't want to sound like, gross male fan athlete or male fan watching women's sports. Man, some of these softball, I mean, Sam Landry is beautiful. I want to see her on television continuing to down. Skylar Wallace was great. Jocelyn, and they're awesome athletes. I want to see those girls continue to be great. And I want those stands to get full. Dude, Terry, these girls are Caitlin Clarks of softball. They are that good. They just don't get, just because it's softball and we're behind, they just have never gotten that push. And let's see what happens.
When I watch softball at the highest level I watch it is Division I college, and they're pretty good. I'll watch softball, and there'll be a hard hit ground ball to the third baseman, and she will go 5-4-3, a double play, and that looks like it's supposed to look. I'll then watch WNBA basketball for a little bit, and a basic layup looks terrible. Right?
I know, right?
Comparing those two sports, I think the softball girls perform at a much higher level at their sport than and I don't know why it is, but I have trouble watching the girls in basketball have a push shot from their hip.
I know, right?
But I watched the softball, and the girls pumping it in at 72 miles an hour, which if you do the ratio, that's like a 92 mile an hour fastball. Because they're 40.
I wonder what the girl that threw that fastest pitch with
Tennessee girl.
78 point. What is that equivalent to?
Yeah,
that's got to be equivalent to a Paul Skeens 102 miles per hour fastball.
We said it translates to like a 101, 102 fastball because they're only 46 feet away versus a pitcher's mound in Major League Baseball 60 feet 6 inches.
Yeah, these crazy. Girls. You got to think, Terry, for baseball and softball, a girl's pitching that fast.
Yeah.
Or guys pitching that. You're almost swinging before you even make a decision.
Yeah. It's tough.
And then they throw a changeup that's 20 miles per hour slower that looks like the same exact pitch.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Patrick, as an old baseball guy, I'll leave you with this. Not only is that ball coming in there that fast and moving a lot, you've got a round bat trying to hit a round ball square. Right? You're trying to square up a round bat on a round ball, and there's only a little bit of space you can hit it, and it'll go straight, as opposed to popping up or going in the dirt.
I wonder, when baseball was there ever an idea to have the bat be flat?
No, I don't.
A certain spot.
I love that idea.
I don't know if it ever was.
Yeah. Hey, imagine.
I don't know if it ever was.
Here's one. I'll leave you with this, Pat. We'll go to break. and I'll let you get going. I know you're tired. How about if you took a golf putter and the putter was round like a baseball bat, and
my gosh,
you were putting a round golf ball? That would be hard. Right? That would be hard as hell. Right?
Yeah, and the argument will be, well, you got the little dimples. You got the little dimples on the golf balls. To hit. That's the you should be able to square it up. Oh my gosh, putting is already hard. Could you imagine?
And how about this? The golf hole is round. What if the hole was square? It'd be a lot easier to drop a putt in.
It would be a lot easier.
Right? What if they were square holes instead of round hole? I don't know. This is a deep thought show, man. Deep thought.
Well, this is similar to the conversation we had last year talking about gymnastics and how did they come up with this? Hey, here's an idea. We're gonna use a little foot runway for a girl to run as fast as she can. She's going to jump off this vault thing and do a bunch of flips and land on her feet. What?
And land perfectly. And then jump up on this 4-inch wide beam of hard wood, and she's going to jump around on that thing and not crack her head.
We're going to make it 4 inches wide, just enough for a foot to be on there.
One little foot. One little foot. All right, Pat, get out of here. I think you're tired from driving. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. That's Patrick Young. Right here from his show, the Young Norvelle Show. We'll take a break. We're live at Hurricane Jointed Creek. We'll come back, reset. I got some college baseball news and notes I want to get to, and that'll lead us right into our Major League Baseball discussion. Baseball talk coming up at 5:30 with our buddy Cade Kistner, the SI, Sports Illustrated publisher. That and a whole lot more. Stay with us right here on the Young Norvelle Show.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jax Beach.
Are you about to graduate high school and haven't decided on what you want to do when you get done? Well, one option is to apply to become a student in the Electrical Training Alliance of Jacksonville. Their program offers structured classroom and online training, along with on-the-job training so that you can earn while you learn. Still not convinced? The folks at ETA Jax are a tuition-free 4-year apprenticeship program. There is no tuition and no student debt. Just pay for your books and your fees. That's it. Now, speaking of pay, Students, they start off making $40,000 per year, including benefits, and they graduate, get this, making over $80,000 per year, including those sought-after benefits. Now, that sounds pretty good to me, and if that sounds good to you, it should check off a lot of boxes. So head on over to etajax.org and apply by May 15th. Again, the website right here, etajax.org. Don't wait, apply today.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with We Are Martyr rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is home. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
Okay, back we are. We were talking a little basketball a moment ago about the camps here in Duval County, lasting all summer. If you've got a basketball player in your life and you want to get him or her in a basketball camp to enhance their basketball skills, or just, have something to do this summer, some physical activity. But these are geared really toward a basketball player is trying to improve their shooting, their passing, their footwork, their skills. Maybe the young one in your life is trying to try out for the middle school team coming up this next school season. Maybe they're already on the high school team trying to improve their game, maybe try to start seriously working their game into potential college scholarship level. They've got all levels for all basketball players, no matter where your talent level is at right now. Check out the Jacksonville Basketball Academy. Coach Jim Martin over at Providence, longtime coach. He has coached right around 50 collegiate basketball players that have come through his tutelage. He runs a wonderful basketball camp, 9 weeks of individual camps. You've got plenty of time to get your basketball player signed up. Check out all they can do for you and your basketball player. Go to their website, Google Jacksonville Basketball Academy.com. Again, Jacksonville Basketball Academy.com. We get into some heavy Major League Baseball talk coming up at the bottom. Had something there. We have Cade Kistner, our buddy from Sports Illustrated, the Sports Illustrated baseball publisher, will join us at the bottom of the hour. A lot of baseball talk with Cade as baseball season is really heating up. We're starting to really peak at the midway point, 4th of July, and then All-Star Game is about 7 or 8 days after the 4th of July. So we're starting to get deep into Major League Baseball. College baseball going on. Again, let me go down the 8 teams that have made it to Omaha. We have 5 teams that were national seeds. What happens is at the end of the regular season, going into postseason play, the top 16 are ranked. Generally, I'm confident without looking this up, most years, all of, if not almost all of your 8 teams that make it out to Omaha are national seeds, 1 through 16 somewhere. This year, it's a little unique. 5 national seeds have made it to Omaha. 3 non-seeded teams have made it. Arkansas is in Omaha. They're the 3 overall seed. LSU is the 6th overall seed. Oregon State checked in as the number 8 overall seed. Coastal Carolina, 13th overall national seed, and UCLA, the 15th national seed. 3 teams were not seeded, but they have made their way to Omaha: Arizona, Louisville, and Murray State. I thought that was interesting. Some other news and notes from the field now that is set to show up and start playing on Friday and Saturday in Omaha. You heard a lot of kind of derisive comments toward the SEC. The SEC got so many teams in the general college baseball field, and then the regionals weren't real kind to the SEC, and the super regionals not real kind as well. Teams like Florida, Georgia, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Kentucky, they all got knocked out. And there was some derisive comments about, whoa, the big bad SEC. Well, let me stop you folks. If you're on that side of the ledger, you were picking at the SEC. We have 8 teams left. There is one conference that has more than one representative. and that's the SEC. So say what you want, but the SEC does have LSU and Arkansas. Unfortunately for the SEC, they are in the same side of the tournament, and they face each other in the first game. But the SEC, as quote-unquote bad of a postseason as it was, they're the only conference with more than one representative still standing in the Final Eight. I just wanted to get that out. Other things I've noticed here with the field being set and all the play getting started Friday and Saturday in Omaha, there could be a chance for a spicy little rematch. Arkansas is in one side of the bracket. That's my pick to win it all. I think they're the best team going. I would love to see Arkansas and Oregon State match up. Remember, Arkansas has never won a College World Series. They're probably the most accomplished college baseball program that has yet to win it. I mean, Arkansas has taken some really good teams out to Omaha. They never quite won it. They were oh so close in 2018. A foul ball with 2 outs and Arkansas leading by a couple of runs. A foul ball was hit into foul territory in 2018. Arkansas had 3 players converge in what I call the no man's triangle area in a baseball field. The foul territory kind of 20 to 30 feet behind first base, but in foul territory. The right fielder converged, the second baseman converged, and the first baseman went out. And all 3 Arkansas players looked at each other and the ball dropped. Had that ball been caught, Arkansas wins the College Baseball World Series over Oregon State. It dropped, lack of communication. Oregon State rallies to win the game and the national title. I would love to see Arkansas and Oregon State meet up again. And I'm pulling for Arkansas. By the way, LSU, the other SEC team still alive in college baseball. LSU, it doesn't feel like this has been one of the power LSU programs of years gone by. You realize if LSU was to get hot and win the College Baseball World Series this year, they would be the bullies on the block. LSU, if they win it this year, and they've got a chance. They've got 2 really good starters, and they always have good power. If LSU wins it, they would win 2 of the last 3. LSU won it 2 years ago. Tennessee was the defending champions. They've been knocked out. Tennessee won it last year. 2 years ago, remember, LSU beat Florida in the finals. So if LSU was to win it this year, the Tigers would have won 2 of 3, and they would restake their claim to the best baseball program in the country. Trying to look at some other things. If either Arkansas or LSU wins the College Baseball National Championship in the next, 10 days or so, 12 days, if the SEC wins it again, that would be 6 in a row. That's domination. You go back as far as Vanderbilt in a row. Here are the SEC teams that have won it. Working back from last year. Last year, Tennessee. The year before, LSU. The year before that, Ole Miss. The year before that, Mississippi State. The year before that, Vanderbilt. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row for the SEC. If Arkansas or LSU wins it this year, it will be 6 in a row for the SEC. Some other stuff I want to get out there before we take a break and talk some Major League Baseball with Cade Kistner from Sports Illustrated. Arkansas goes into the College World Series having hit the most home runs of anybody in Omaha. They've got 124. They pitch it well, they hit it well, and they field it well. Pretty good formula. Oregon State, they probably play the most small ball. Don't be surprised when you're watching Oregon State if they lay down a bunt for purpose, a offensive type bunt. They have a real good second baseman. Arquette's going to go high in the draft. UCLA, I mentioned, is probably the best fielding team in America. They hang their hat on good pitching and fielding. UCLA with John Savage, they've won national titles in baseball, and that seems to always be their prescription. They're not going to knock the ball out of the ballpark with most teams, but they're going to pitch it and they're going to field it. And that prescription has won them quite a few national titles. Murray State will be the darling of the field. They're in their first College World Series. Ja Morant, probably the best-known athlete out of Murray State. Just wanted to throw that out there. When it comes to, you're going to hear that a lot. The Racers, by the way, from Murray, Kentucky. Pretty good basketball program. Murray State basketball has made the NCAA tournament quite a few years, and they've represented pretty well, but first time for baseball to make it. All right, let's take a quick run through this date in sports history. We'll take a break, come back and talk some baseball with Cade Kistner from Sports Illustrated. This date, 1944, Joe Nuxhall, pitching for the Reds, the youngest major league player ever recorded. He took the mound for the Reds in 1944, had about a 6-year career, 15 years, 316 days. Just under 16 years old, he made his debut. This date in sports history, 1977, as we are in the week of the U.S. Open. How about the first ever in-tournament PGA score under 60 was recorded? Al Geiberger shot a 59 in a regulation PGA tour. I remember when that happened. That was a big, big deal. 59 in 1977. And Casey, I don't know if Casey, do we have the clip from 1975, the Yankees playing a game in Shea Stadium?
Yeah, we do.
We do have that?
Yes.
I'll tell you what, you're going to love this. This was 1975. Let me set it up real quick. The New York Yankees in 1974 and 75 played their home games in Shea Stadium. That was the Mets' home stadium because Yankee Stadium was undergoing a massive renovation. So here is a game, a random game, Yankees hosting the California Angels, 1975. Nolan Ryan was pitching for the Angels this night, and the Yankees were honoring the United States Army. It was the 200th anniversary of the Army, the United States Army. So the Yankees, on this random night back in 1975, this date, 1975, Casey, they invited a local Army group in Brooklyn to come out and help honor the Army's 200th anniversary. The Army guys brought 2 75 millimeter, if I'm saying that right, cannons. They brought cannons, put them pregame on the warning track, and their plan was to fire off 2 cannons. Casey, let's play Walter Cronkite describing what happened on that promotion night.
There was something of a doubleheader at New York City's Shea Stadium last night. Before the Yankees and the California Angels took the field, an artillery detachment from Brooklyn's Fort Hamilton observed the U.S. Army's 200th anniversary with a 21-gun salute. The cannons were loaded with blanks, of course, but close enough to the outfield fence to blast a hole at one point and start a fire at another. Repairs were made in time for the ball game. Final scores, Yankees 6, Angels 4, Army 21, fence nothing. And that's the way it is. Wednesday, June 11th, 1975. This is
Casey, they fired 2 cannons, even with blanks, knocked holes in the wall, and caught the fence on fire. For God's sakes, Casey.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
What do you think the Mets said the next time the Yankees called and said, "Hey, could we?" No, we're booked that day.
No, we can't. We cannot help. Call somebody. Call Fenway.
We're busy that day. And you remember the last time we let you play on our field, you shot a hole in the fence and caught it on fire.
Yeah, that ain't happening again.
Somebody had to have lost their job, right?
Multiple
Casey,
people.
Why do you have the 2 cannons that close to the fence? Why?
Maybe just not the brightest human beings that have ever been here.
I guess so. Anyway, I saw that today, and I had to get that out there. There you have it. All right, let's take a break. We hope to come back and talk some Major League Baseball. It is time for Baseball Talk with Sports Illustrated publisher Cade Kistner on the other side of the Young Norvelle show, coming to you on a Tuesday. You know where we're at. We are at Hurricane Jointed Creek.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jax Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The schedules are out for another summer of soccer here in Jacksonville with the Armada men's and women's under-23 squads, starting with the ladies and the home opener on May 24th. 2 weeks later, they're back in Northeast Florida for a June 7th matchup. The season wraps up with a pair of Friday night home matches June 20th and the 27th. As for the boys in blue, they debut against a couple league newcomers on May 9th and 17th respectively, with more home dates on May 31st, June 14th, and June 21st. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jax, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jax is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jax 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
All right, as you can see on the logo, it is time for some baseball talk with Sports Illustrated publisher Cade Kistner as we dive into what is really heating up a wonderful Major League Baseball season. I do believe we've got Mr. Kistner on the line. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, well, how are you, Terry?
Doing well. We got a lot to get to, man, Cade. Let's start with a pretty good series, two pretty good teams going at it. The Cubs and the Phillies. And Kate, I know you cover the Phillies real close. Man, they have really been scuffling around. They went into last night's game having lost 5 in a row, 1-9 their last 10. They pull out the win, Cade, 4-3, but it took them 11 innings to score 4 runs. The Phillies just can't seem to score runs right now.
Yeah, it's hard to come by, right? Bryce Harper's on the injured list with a wrist injury. Got an update on him today. He's apparently feeling better and getting treatment on it. So, the worst case scenario of him potentially needing surgery.
Yeah.
Looks like it won't be happening. But Aaron Nola is he's sidelined for the next 2 weeks with a rib cage issue, and you also look at the leadoff hitter, right, Bryson Stott, and I think he's sitting like 254. And if you're a Major League Baseball team, wanting to win a World Series, that's not the type of leadoff hitter you need, right? So there's just a lot of holes on that team right now. Center field, left field. Dave Dombrowski, the president of baseball operations, just I don't think made significant enough moves this past offseason to kind of like really address what the Phillies need to kind of take that next step, because they're kind of getting to the end of their contention window with this veteran roster here.
Yeah. You mentioned Bryce Harper. As I understand it, looking around yesterday, the earliest he could come off the list would be June 16th, I think it is. He went on the 6th, and he would come off on the 16th if everything goes well, so they could get him back soon. Interesting last night, man. I was looking at this ugly streak the Phillies are in. Of those going into last night's game, they were 1-9. So their last 10, they had scored like 1 run in 4 games, 2 runs in a game. They just have struggled scoring. But last night, thank God they didn't waste. It was a quality start by Wheeler.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, those guys have been kind of the bright spot on that team this year in that pitching rotation, which has been pretty good. Jesus Luzardo, he looked really good to start the year. He's regressing back to his career average, which is not exactly what the Phillies are wanting. But overall, it's been a pretty good rotation. The Phillies are kind of mirroring the Rangers right now. And, these teams just cannot score runs to save their life despite having, pretty good starts.
Yeah. It's funny you said just any way you can score runs for the Phillies now. They actually went small ball last night, right? There were a couple bunts that played a big role. And I know I watched a ton of college baseball over the weekend, the last 2 weekends, and I laughed at how nobody can play small ball anymore. Nobody can bunt. Nobody can defend the bunt, but the Phillies had to turn to the bunt last night.
Right. Yeah. And like you said, any way to score runs. And, they have a kind of power lineup, right? You've got guys in there like Castellanos and Schwarber and when healthy Bryce Harper, right? So they're used to kind of, high OPSs, lots of extra base hits, home runs. And, that's kind of been their MO for the last, 4 years. And at this point, you just have to win. I forget what the exact statistic is, but I believe if the Phillies score 4 more runs in a game, and a start by their top 3 guys in the rotation, I think they've only lost like 2 games this year. So, it's kind of the magic number, and you saw it last night. They scored 4 runs and they win.
Yes, it took them 11 innings to get those 4 runs.
Right.
They win. The opponent last night, the Cubs. You hate to lose, but they got a break. St. Louis also lost, so the Cubs maintain a 4-game lead. Is that going to be a 2-team race over there, Cubs, St. Louis?
It really is. I don't even think it's a 2-team race. I mean, St. Louis is doing some pretty incredible stuff. If they make some moves at the deadline, like they're kind of talking about, maybe they stay in there and potentially make a wild card race. But the Cubs are so good. I mean, in my opinion, the Cubs right now, as they're playing, they're the best team in the National League. So that's gonna be a pretty hard team to stop.
This because your life is Major League Baseball, and I lean on you for all my my help in this topic. Looking around at the Cubs, I didn't realize they do something not many people do. They steal bases. They've got like 3 stolen bases, which is odd in Major League Baseball nowadays.
Yeah, it really is. But, you take a look at, who the Cubs are, how their roster is built out. It's a lot of younger guys, really speedy, fast guys, high twitch guys. They've got a really aggressive manager in Craig Counsell. And so, it is surprising from the fact that, we've kind of gotten away from that in this game. But the Cubs are perfectly built to do it. And, again, that's kind of their calling card. And they found a ton of success with it. So...
jumping back to the Phillies real quick, and then I want to move to the Braves. And you brought up Texas. I've got some numbers I want to throw your way about the Rangers as well. But going back to the Phillies real quick, Kyle Schwarber, all he does is just keeps hitting. I mean, this guy, I didn't realize this. There are only 4 guys in Major League Baseball with 20 or more home runs. Guess who number 4 is? Kyle Schwarber with 20. Right. How about that?
Yeah, no, and that's just what he's done his entire career. I mean, he's a guy that, I believe he was the home run leader in the National League 2 years ago with like 43 or 44 or something. And so, I mean, this guy is good for, 35 plus a year. I mean, he's on pace for, probably 42 again this year. So, people look at his batting average and like, oh, he's hitting, 235 or 240. It's like, yeah, but his OPS is like 1100, because he gets out there and he's, just hitting bombs, and that's what they pay him to do.
Just a hitting machine. Braves snapped a 7-game losing streak last night against Milwaukee. Boy, the Braves, they just can't seem to get on a roll. Obviously, the and start. What the hell's going on with their bullpen? They've been blowing late game situations. They go and resurrect Craig Kimbrell for 1 game, and then they just let him go. He had a decent outing, but what the hell's going on with the Braves and their bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, bullpens are finicky, right? I mean, that's the most volatile, position group in all of baseball at every level. And so, I think the Craig Kimbrell thing, it actually kind of really upset me because, he's kind of he's kind of a franchise icon, right? And so you have him wither away in the minor leagues, and then you bring him up, and it's not like he, blew up or anything. Like you say, he had a pretty decent outing. And then you unceremoniously just cut them. I'm not sure why you would do that. But it kind of just is kind of the MO of the Braves this year, of just kind of this chaos. They finally get back to 500, and now they're back out of the race. And now we're talking about trading Marcell Ozuna almost being a given at the trade deadline. So it's just been kind of a wild season for the Braves. It's been a chaotic season for the Braves, and that's something they're going to have to address in the winter and decide what they want to do as a team, because, they're kind of in the position where the Phillies are right now, right? Where, they were a couple years ago, I suppose. So, they were really good, top of the NL East, World Series aspirations. And now you're kind of like looking at this roster going, all right, now we're stuck. Do we keep adding, spending money? Bringing in some, high-dollar veterans, or do we blow this thing up, right? So that's going to be a question they're going to have to address here pretty soon.
And Kate, you just answered the question I think I'm going to throw at you. I think you answered it. But the Braves, they've got to do some self-evaluating, and I'm sure they've already done it. They're not in a position to try and say, well, let's make a move to fix our bullpen. You don't want to give up anything right now on the farm. They're too far gone to be buyers, right, and try to fix the bullpen, and give away prospects.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing too: is fixing the bullpen, at the trade deadline is pretty easy. Most contenders can do that with 1 or 2 moves. You're not really selling the farm for effective relievers. The issue is that the Braves are more than 1 or 2 stud relief pitchers away from being a World Series contender. So. There's a lot of holes in that roster, and you got to kind of even figure out the starting rotation a little bit in the back end. So there's a lot of things they have to do that they cannot get done at the trade deadline here at the end of next month, because everything at the trade deadline comes at a premium. So,
yeah. Really nice outing again, and I don't want to say, or help me out with this, I don't want to say resurrecting his career, but Chris Sale he just keeps going. 7 innings last night, 5 hits, a run, 11 strikeouts, his most strikeouts on the year. He'll probably be at least the one Braves player wearing in the All-Star game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe he's the only one that's predicted to make the All-Star game. And he's also in the Cy Young conversation right now.
How about that?
You're right. I mean, this is the best year he's had really since he was with the White Sox. So, however many years ago, 8 years ago, right? So, complete resurrection of his career, and a great rebirth for him. You know, we kind of saw a little bit last year, but this year he is just really kind of taking that next step, and you know, he's an elite starter once again.
We're talking baseball with Kate Kistner, Sports Illustrated publisher. Really knows the game. I really enjoyed just bouncing around. And Kate, if you don't mind, let's jump into just Major League Baseball, a potpourri. You mentioned the Texas Rangers, and it's ironic you mentioned the Rangers. I'm looking at some of their numbers today, and my God, are they perplexing? Their top 3 starters. Their team ERA, they've got the number 3 team ERA in Major League Baseball. As a team, 3.10 ERA.
3.1. Yep.
Yeah. Conversely, they can't hit. They're the 29th highest. They're almost dead last in batting average as a team. They're 29th. They're hitting, 221. They're sandwiched between the Rockies, the worst hitting team in Major League Baseball, and the White Sox. How perplexing are the Rangers? They pitch it so good, they just can't hit it.
Yeah. So in the last 60 years, there's been 35 teams with a 3.1 ERA through 66 games. The Rangers are the first team out of that bunch to have a losing record, right?
Wow.
So, yeah, it's pretty brutal for them. You know, the issue is, you know, Corey Seager just got done having the longest hitless streak of his career. I think it was like 0 for 22 or something. Might be more now. Marcus Semien was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Up until about a week ago. You know, I think that, you know, kind of the funniest story to me is Adolis Garcia, who at the beginning of the season said, you know, I'm going to hit 50 home runs, bookmark it. I think he's on pace for 16. So, and yeah, now there's talk of him being traded to the Dodgers. So, fantastic rotation, decent bullpen. You have just all these high-powered guys out there that are not even performing to their career, you know, mean or average, right? So, kind of the bright spot is Wyatt Langford, who's this, you know, Florida guy, right? So, but he's really young, and he's not experienced enough yet to kind of be able to carry that team through these tough patches.
No, he's got 11 home runs, but his batting average is in the 220s overall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you know, he's still feeling his way. You know, we talked home runs a moment ago. There are only 4 guys, or there are 4 guys in all of Major League Baseball with 20 or more. We talked about Kyle Schwarber being one. You know, if you asked 100 guys on that street out there that know Major League Baseball, okay, who's leading Major League Baseball in home runs? I think 98 of them would say Judge, right? Say Judge. Okay, it's not Judge, Ohtani. Okay, good guesses. 23. You know who's leading Major League Baseball, speaking of state of Florida college players? Cal Raleigh has 26, the former Florida State catcher in Seattle. How about that? Cal Raleigh with 26.
Yeah, Cal's great. And, you know, it's funny because, you know, the Mariners, you know, last winter and also last July at the trade deadline were kind of tossing his name around as a guy that could potentially be traded, right? And so now, you know, the catching position, right, is usually known for kind of, you know, less offense, right, more, you know, defense, a backstop kind of thing. But Cal is kind of, you know, revamping that and looking like Pudge Rodriguez out there right now.
I'll tell you though, man, you look at the overall numbers Judge is putting up. It's just ridiculous.
He's nuts. He's like almost batting 400 with 23 home runs. It's insane.
It really is. We can't talk baseball without, at least in the first half anyway, bringing up Paul Skeens. I think everybody loves Paul Skeens. I don't care if you're rooting against the Pirates. Paul Skeens. I've been tracking him like most people. Cade, what the hell? His last start, he goes 7 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run. No, that was an unearned run, by the way.
Yep.
He walks 1, he strikes out 7, he gets a no decision. His ERA goes down to 1.88.
Yes, he's a sub-2 ERA monster.
And he's 4-6 with 1.88 ERA. My God, I don't want to see another Nolan Ryan, a guy who pitches his guts out for a lot of bad teams. Paul Skeens, you got a feel for this guy right now.
Yeah, this is a big discussion right now in the industry, right? With Paul Skeens is the Pirates are mismanaged. They're a bad team. They're going to be a horrible team for a long time. And Paul Skeens is quite frankly probably the best pitcher in baseball right now.
Wow.
And and he's very young. He's on a rookie contract. The Pirates are not going to extend him. Like a lot of these teams are doing with young guys that want to keep him around. It's just not going to happen. The Pirates are too cheap, but they also don't want to trade him because it is Paul freaking Skeens, So the best thing that the Pirates could do is trade him right now, and kind of get this franchise altering prospect package in return. Same thing they did with Garrett Cole and Joe Musgrove, right, back about 8 years ago, so 6-7 years ago. So.
Yeah.
That's kind of the MO. I mean, they've got the best trade chip that is, again, for a team like the Pirates. I know it's Paul Skeens, but if I'm the GM of the Pirates, I'm moving him for 5 or 6 top 100 prospects in baseball.
But Cade, and we'll get off this topic. We got about 4 minutes left here with Cade Kistner from Sports Illustrated talking Major League Baseball. If they trade him for a big package, don't they also have to say we're also going to start spending money? If not, you're just going to be right back where you're at, aren't you?
Yeah, and that's part of the game, right? So you're hoping that you get a big package of guys, maybe 2 or 3 years, they develop into some pretty solid major leaguers, and then yes, at that point in time, you should be committed to your team and your fan base to be able to spend some money and get some pretty high dollar free agents around him or around these guys.
With Cade Kistner, Cade, kind of a marquee game tonight. Yankees at Kansas City. You may say, what's marquee about that? Well, A, it's the Yankees. B, they're at Kansas City. This is Jack Caglione's home debut. The big former Florida Gator got called up, struggled 2 for 21 his first 5 games, I think. He had a 4-for-4 night. Should be kind of a circus atmosphere in Kansas City with the Yankees coming to town and the Royal fans get to see the bonus baby.
Yeah, should be a fun night. I mean, this guy is, highly touted. It's there's been a lot of, hoopla and fanfare around this debut with him. So, it should be fun, and you get to face the Yankees and Aaron Judge in your MLB debut. You can't ask for much more.
I think Max Fried on the hill sort of be a tough lefty matchup for Cags, at least to start. First place Astros, they're in a good spot. They're hosting the White Sox in a series. Boy, when you see the White Sox, the Rockies, the Orioles, and gosh, I hate to say it, the Pirates as well, even though they swept Philly, you can't get those kind of games away if you're contenders, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you have to take advantage of every single one of those games with these teams that are well below 500, right? And in the Rockies' case, historically bad. So, absolutely have to take advantage. But the thing with Houston is even with all these changes and losing guys and injuries and moving Altuve out to left field, they just keep winning. They're first place in their division, and it's a culture thing. And they're gonna make some moves. They're gonna probably get an infielder here at the trade deadline, and probably trade for some starting pitching as well.
As we're wrapping things up with Cade Kistner, talking some Major League Baseball here on Baseball Talk. Speaking of consistent, boy, the Tigers have been consistent all year. I looked at say, how about this stat? And I guess this is pro Detroit as much as it is negative Minnesota. Detroit has a 7-game lead right now in their division over Minnesota. Cade, we're about 65-ish games into the season. Minnesota had a 13-game winning streak already in the first 60-something games, and they're still 7 games back with a 13-game winning streak.
Yeah, you gotta give it to the Tigers and their front office. I mean, you've got young guys out there producing. All of a sudden, Javier Baez looks like he's been revived from the grave. You've got, Skubal out there, absolutely dealing. Again, probably a Cy Young contender as well. Just absolutely consistent, great coaching. It's absolutely the Tigers to lose, and they look like legitimate World Series contenders.
God, if you're Minnesota, you're like, we won 13 in a row in the first 65 games, and we're still 7 back. Hey, 30 seconds left. This is kind of a fun topic for you, Cade Kistner. Last night, the in-game interview kind of went sideways. Jazz Chisholm, the infielder for the Yankees, is talking to the guys in the booth. Ground ball. He throws it away. What are your thoughts on the in-game interview, mic'd up in-game interview?
I'm not a fan. I don't think Jazz Chisholm is that an elite defender by any means, but that's a play that you make routinely, 99% of the time. And I've seen more bloopers from guys being on in-game interviews. I think it's distracting. It's fun for the fans, but not when your favorite player, your favorite team makes an error, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I sound like old man, get off my lawn, but I think there are some sacred areas. I think the locker room at times should be cut off, and I don't think in-game stuff, and that's old man. Hey, Cade, super job. Really enjoyed it. Always learn a lot when we talk Major League Baseball with Cade Kistner from Sports Illustrated. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, sir. Bye.
That's our buddy Cade Kistner, our baseball talk segment. Really enjoy that. That'll wrap it up, man. Been a fun show. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. We'll get together tomorrow, the Wednesday edition of the Young Norvelle show coming up at 4 o'clock right here on Action Sports Jax.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jax Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The schedules are out for another summer of soccer here in Jacksonville with the Armada men's and women's under-23 squads, starting with the ladies and the home opener on May 24th. 2 weeks later, they're back in Northeast Florida for a June 7th matchup. The season wraps up with a pair of Friday night home matches June 20th and the 27th. As for the boys in blue, they debut against a couple league newcomers on May 9th and 17th respectively, with more home dates on May 31st, June 14th, and June 21st. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the